Yeah, a lot of my career doesn't make any sense if you're looking at it just in terms of success or taste. But I was always trying to really explore acting in the most extreme circumstances. And I don't have any regrets, but what I would do over again is sort of secure my position in a couple of places.
Actor Val Kilmer, known for his iconic roles in films like Top Gun, The Doors, and Tombstone, has sadly passed away at the age of 65. Kilmer wasn't just a heartthrob or a well-known figure in Hollywood. He was a dedicated artist who poured his heart into every role he played. The news of his passing shook the internet, but what really resonated with everyone was the emotional farewell shared by his ex-wife, actress Joanne Whalley. Her words weren't just a tribute, they felt like a final love letter, and they deeply moved everyone who knew their story. But before we dive into her unforgettable message, let's take a moment to remember the man behind the legend. Long before the fame, the red carpets, and the blockbuster roles, Val Kilmer was simply a boy with a dream. Born in Los Angeles in 1959, Val grew up in the heart of the entertainment industry. However, his childhood was marred by personal tragedy. His younger brother, Wesley, who shared Val's passion for film, tragically died in a drowning accident when they were still children. This loss left a deep scar on Val and pushed him even further into the world of imagination and performance as a way to cope with the grief. To make matters worse, his parents divorced when he was just 9 years old. This created more instability in his life, but it also fueled his determination to succeed.
The gray suit, initially he had this kind of smart black.
Then I did what Robert said. It's my date. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. It's always good to spring it on me after the fact.
It's real love. It's man love.
Val attended Chatsworth High School, where he met future stars like Kevin Spacey and Mare Winningham. Even at that young age, Val stood out not just for his looks, but because of how seriously he took acting. His dedication to the craft was evident early on. At just 17 years old, Val became the youngest person ever accepted into the prestigious Juilliard School's drama division, which was known for being highly competitive. Val didn't just survive the rigorous environment, he thrived in it.
You're ready. Yes, I have an answer for us. It's been a while.
Oh, you look great.
According to his classmates, he was obsessed with acting. He would spend hours working on scenes, rewriting lines, and studying characters down to their core. His love for the craft was more important than fame, and this mindset stayed with him throughout his entire career, influencing the roles he chose and how he played them. In 1984, Val made his big screen debut with the comedy Top Secret, a goofy and satirical film that showcased his comedic timing and musical talents. He played a rock and roll spy and even did his own singing in the movie. Even in something lighthearted, Val committed fully to his role, giving it his all. But it was his role in Top Gun in 1986 that truly put him on Hollywood's radar. Val didn't even want to play the character of Iceman at first, feeling the script was thin and the character underwritten. However, he agreed to take the role out of contractual obligation. What he created, however, became one of the most iconic rivalries in cinematic history. His cold, confident portrayal of Iceman opposite Tom Cruise's Maverick became unforgettable. After Top Gun, Val showed his versatility with a complete transformation into the character of Jim Morrison in The Doors, 1991. In this film, he did all his own singing, and his performance was so convincing that even the surviving members of The Doors had trouble distinguishing his vocals from Morrison's. Val didn't hold back in preparing for this demanding role. He immersed himself in the poetry, habits, and breakdowns of Morrison. This dedication to the craft becoming the character, both body and soul, was who Val was. Then, in 1995, Val took on the role of Batman in Batman Forever. Taking over the cape and cowl from Michael Keaton, Val knew the pressure was on. His version of Batman was more internal. He explored the psychology of Bruce Wayne, focusing on the loneliness and vulnerability behind the mask. While the film was a box office hit, tensions between Val and director Joel Schumacher behind the scenes created some friction. Despite that, Val still delivered a version of The Dark Knight that is remembered fondly by fans to this day. Val's career wasn't just about blockbuster roles. Some of his best performances came in movies that didn't always get the same attention. Tombstone, 1993, was one such film. As Doc Holliday, he delivered one of the most memorable and quotable performances of his career. His line, "I'm your Huckleberry," has become a part of pop culture even decades later. In Thunderheart, 1992, he played an FBI agent who uncovers his Native American roots, a role praised for its deeper themes and powerful storytelling. In Heat, 1995, Val held his own in scenes alongside acting legends Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, proving his incredible versatility. Despite the high points of his career, behind closed doors, Val was facing personal struggles. In 2014, people began to notice that something wasn't right with Val. His voice sounded different, and he appeared thinner. However, Val remained silent, not ready to reveal what was happening in his personal life.
I have to say, it's been amazing. I didn't actually realize that this went on. I mean, the number of fans, the amount of joy and love they have, and the level of involvement and engagement, and they have real power, and there's a real relationship, and it's been kind of incredible. So I've actually very much enjoyed it.
For years, he denied rumors about his health. It wasn't until 2017 that Val publicly confirmed he was battling throat cancer. This diagnosis changed everything for him. He underwent aggressive treatments, including radiation, chemotherapy, and 2 tracheotomies. These procedures were not only physically painful but also changed his way of life. His voice, a key part of his identity as an actor, was nearly gone. Speaking became difficult, and eating was a struggle. For someone whose career had been built on performance and self-expression, the shift was monumental. While his health deteriorated, so did his career. Roles became scarce, and directors were unsure how to cast him. Some projects quietly moved on without him, and for a while, it seemed like Hollywood had forgotten about him. But Val didn't give up. He kept writing, kept showing up, and kept believing that his story was far from over. Even as cancer ravaged his body, his spirit never wavered. Instead of retreating into seclusion, Val chose to turn the camera on himself and tell his own story. In 2021, Val released a deeply personal documentary titled Val. The film wasn't a polished Hollywood production, it was raw and real. Val had been documenting his life for decades, everything from his early days as a drama student to behind-the-scenes moments on film sets. With hours of footage in hand, Val shared his story with the world. He had been through so much, but the documentary showcased a man who never stopped being an artist. It was a portrait of someone who, even after the spotlight faded, still had a story to tell. Since Val could no longer narrate the film himself, his son, Jack, stepped in to speak his father's words. The result was a moving and heartfelt portrait of a man who had lived a full life. The film revealed Val's journey, from a young, passionate actor to a Hollywood star, from a father to a cancer survivor, and from a man with a whisper of a voice to one who still had something powerful to say. It wasn't just a film about an actor, it was about the man behind the roles. Val shared moments of vulnerability, pain, and resilience, but also moments of love, humor, and pride. He had come to terms with his past and accepted his present, which helped him connect with a whole new generation of fans. While the world was getting to know Val through his documentary, someone from his past was preparing to say goodbye in the most heartfelt way. Val and Joanne Whalley had met in the late 1980s while filming the fantasy movie Willow. For a time, they were Hollywood's quiet power couple, no scandals, no drama, just 2 actors raising a family. They had 2 children, Mercedes and Jack, and even after their marriage ended in 1996, something special remained. Unlike many celebrity divorces, Val and Joanne managed to stay close. They co-parented with respect and, over time, their bond deepened. In the final days of Val's life, Joanne was there for him, not for the cameras, not for the press, but just for him. She visited him away from the spotlight, and those close to the family said it was an emotional moment, two people who had shared so much now sharing a quiet goodbye. Then came her message, which she shared through a close friend and later posted online. "You were the brightest light in every room, and even now I still see you shining." Those words hit like a wave. They weren't rehearsed or polished, they were raw and real. And they reminded everyone that behind the fame, behind the Batman suit and the Top Gun swagger, Val Kilmer was just a man deeply loved by someone who knew him beyond the screen. As her words spread across social media, fans everywhere were moved by the impact Val had on the world. From Tom Cruise to Robert Downey Jr., the tributes poured in. Cruise, who had reunited with Val in Top Gun: Maverick, called him a legend and a gentleman. Robert Downey Jr. praised Val for being one of the most honest performers he had ever seen. Even actors from lesser-known projects shared their memories of how Val had touched their lives. Director Joel Schumacher, who worked with Val on Batman Forever, once said, "Kilmer brought something haunted and beautiful to every role," a quote that was widely shared in the days following his passing. As the news of Val's death spread, social media became a tribute wall. Artists shared drawings, editors put together fan-made montages, and people shared videos about how Val's story had inspired them. But it wasn't just celebrities who mourned his passing, everyday people also remembered how his movies made them feel. Val had always brought depth to his roles, even in the flashiest of characters. His legacy wasn't just about his fame, it was about how he made people feel. Even after his passing, Val reminded the world of the power of vulnerability, love, and artistic courage. Val Kilmer wasn't perfect. He faced struggles, made difficult choices, and lived a big life. But through it all, he stayed true to himself, and that is what people remember. Not just the roles he played, but the man he was. Val Kilmer will always be unforgettable. What was your favorite Val Kilmer moment? Was it Iceman? Doc Holliday? Or maybe something more personal about how his life and legacy touched you? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. And if this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories about the legends who shaped our lives. Rest in peace, Val. You will always be remembered. As we say goodbye to Val Kilmer, we're reminded that his legacy goes far beyond the screen. He wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was an artist who gave everything to his craft, a man who faced unimaginable challenges but never lost his spirit. From his unforgettable roles in Top Gun, The Doors, and Tombstone, to his inspiring battle with cancer, Val's life was one of resilience, passion, and dedication. His story isn't just about the characters he portrayed, but about the man behind them, a man who faced hardships with courage, who loved deeply, and who never stopped believing in the power of art, even when his own voice became quieter. Val's passing is a huge loss, but the impact he had on the world will never fade. His work, his bravery, and his heart will continue to inspire generations to come. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your favorite Val Kilmer moment? Let us know in the comments. And if this video touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the legends who shaped our lives. Rest in peace, Val. You will always be unforgettable.